All right. So I just finished this book. I don't know how to feel about it, and we're gonna talk about it. All right. So basically, I've been reading this book for about, I would say, 3 months now. I'm a slow reader. It is what it is. I am who I am. Whatever. And honestly, it was a tough. It was tough. It was tough, but it wasn't like the hardest thing in the world. Like there were points where it was interesting and it like caught my attention, but then there were points where it was like, do I really want to read this? And do I really want to finish it? I'm glad I finished it. I'm glad I finished it, but also I could have definitely went without reading it. So we're talking about Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I'm pronouncing it wrong. Let me know. And this is the first book in, well, she has a second one out now. She called it something. I forget what the series is called, like the actual series name. I'm sure I'll put it on the screen somewhere as soon as I remember or when I find out. So without further ado, yeah, so this book is basically, let's see, following a girl. Her name is Violet. She basically gets conscripted into a battle school or a war school for dragon riders. And that's all you really need to know. So, to be completely honest, I mean, I'll go into more detail. But basically, she gets conscripted into a battle school for dragon riders, and she really wants to be like a scribe. So basically, in the land that they live in, there are, I think, 4 quadrants. It's like scribes, riders, infantry, and healers, if I'm not mistaken. And Violet really wants to be a scribe, but she gets conscripted into the riders because her mom is a general. None of this is spoilers. This is literally like, let's see. Yeah, this is like in the excerpt it describes the book. And she ends up going along with it because she doesn't really have a choice, which I mean, yes, she technically does have a choice, but she ends up going along with it. And I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers. Also, but it's strange. It's weird. It's one of those things where it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. You either love it or you hate it. And there might be like a little subsection that's like in the middle of like an indifferent. So I'm part of the indifferent crew. I don't hate it. I didn't love it though. So Violet goes through being not prepared for the Riders Quadrant. And throughout the book, you just follow her journey through going from initiation into through her first year. Think Harry Potter, like going through her first year of a school. So you just follow her first year and her romances, if you want to, yeah, her romances, if you want to call it that. See that seemed a bit strange at points, at times. It was okay at others. It was like, I see it, but also this seems kind of like you're trying to go somewhere, and then or like forcing a certain type of scenario, and then other time, and then also you follow her like friendships and rivalries and everything like that. It's more of a rags to riches, I guess, in a sense. I guess if you want to call the riches living and the rags, or like living and being stronger and being able to hold your own, and the rags are like being frail and fragile. So this was an in the middle read. It was kind of tough to get through because of the writing, I would say, but it was also points where like I kind of breezed through sections because of the writing and I was into it. So just to talk about the writing and what I liked and didn't like. What I liked about the writing was when it came to Rebecca writing the battles and the fighting and like the little excerpts for like lore at the top of the chapters. Like when you start a chapter, it's like right above the number. She has like little excerpts like from different like journals, like world building pretty much. Like when it came to some aspects of the world building, I was like, okay. I was like, all right, Rebecca, I see you, I see you, I see what you're doing. And then when it came to the battles, I wasn't engrossed in the battles. I was into the battles. I think the battles might be my favorite part of the book, like the fighting. Yeah, like the fighting and the strategy of it, and like being inside of like I guess Violet's head as she goes through this, and also like the outcomes of certain battles. I was like, all right, that's kind of tough. Like that's tough right there. I can get behind that. Like it had a good pace to it. Nearing the end of the book, she kind of hit her stride with the like describing the combat and like the violence of it. And I appreciated it. I definitely appreciate it because like I got like near the end and I was like, I don't know, and then they started fighting and I was like, okay, all right, you got me for a couple more, and then I was like, okay, I'll finish it, okay, you pulled my arm, I'll finish it. But so I have to say that's why I kind of like the book. There's bits of violence and bits of just fighting throughout. I know violence isn't the answer, but hey, it hooked me in this book. So it was just nice. So I appreciate that and I like that. I will say I've never really read romance, not for real. I can't think of a romance book that I've read. I'm sure if I have, it'll come to me later, but I don't think I've read a romance book at all. It's just never interested me in the slightest, to be honest with you. Just had a little bit of romance in it. It's okay, I guess. I'm not really sure what makes a good romance or what doesn't make a good romance. But to be honest with you, I mean, some of it I was like, oh, that's cute. I was like, all right, look at y'all doing y'all thing. Ugh, hearts. And then others I was like, so like why are we saying this, or why are we doing this, or how did we come to this conclusion, and why is this happening, why? So it just seemed parts of it were cringy, parts of it flowed. It is what it is. I like part of the romance, I didn't like part of the romance, which brings me into the things I didn't like about the book. So wait, one more part that I did like about the book was there were certain elements of character development that happened, and there were certain bits of the story that you get from other characters via Violet's friendships with people. And you also like some of the side characters, you like them, you just like them, and it's just like they were just well written. They were just good characters. They were well written characters, and I kind of wish I got a little bit more of them in the book. I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of wish I got a little bit more. Like Liam, I wish I got more Liam. He seemed mad interesting, and he seemed like a cool dude. Oh shoot. Oh no, wait. I gotta find it. What's her name? What's her name? I don't know how to say it, but you just correct me. Yeah, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about if you read the book or something like that. But Rhiannon, something like that. She seemed pretty cool too, and I kind of would have liked to get a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, learn a little bit more about her and everything like that. But you got a good piece like somewhere in the middle of the book. You know, you got a bit of her backstory. Even in the beginning when like she's first like introduced and stuff, you get a little bit. It's like little bits and pieces sprinkled, but you know, I would have loved to see more just character development for them. Like they were kind of, I would say they were flat. I loved them as characters, but they still were kind of flat, maybe a little bump, you know, but overall flat. Again, they weren't the main focus of the book. I get it, but also they were well written characters. They were interesting. I liked them, and I wanted more of them. So that's my 2 cents. So I will say that I'll let people read it if they want to read it and get a little bit more. I'm just trying to avoid spoilers. That's all. And so I would say I like that. And the world building was it was good. It was okay. I think at certain points it was getting a little bit wordy, and at certain points it was getting a little ooh, like ooh, over your head type of thing. It's like, what are you talking about type of thing. And so um yeah, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Books out, can't really change it. So but also it was good. Like the exposition, or like the literal, like, just this is what this is, this is what this is, this is what this is, instead of like coming across it and like learning about it as you come across it, which there was in the book, but like the juxtaposition, or like the opposing nature of it, it's like when it was being told to you, it's like but when you just come across it, like when in the middle of the battles you're fighting a certain type of like enemy or something like that, and you're like, oh snap, like you didn't tell me necessarily about this enemy, like you brought it up because of a certain item in the, like, earlier in the book, and it's like, oh, okay, and then the name comes back up, or it's like been hinted at a little bit, but it wasn't like a, this is what this is, and this is where they come from, and this is what they do, and they do this and that and the third and the this and the da 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 da. And it's like, it wasn't just that, like, you know, it was like a little sprinkle of that throughout, and it's just like, okay, all right. And like the fact that it's being mentioned a couple of times allows it to like sit, you know, and permeate, but it also seems natural the way it's coming up in the conversation. And it's not like, it's like, oh yeah, let's go get lunch, also found this book and it talks about this and that and the third, and it's just like, whoa, okay, first off, what? So it's I like certain aspects of the world building. The other parts I'm not quite sure. Like when they're talking about like the ranks for the school, I don't know. All I know is fourth wing, flame section, or something like that. I don't know. That could have probably been explained a little bit better or differently. It was a little convoluted to me. Maybe I'll read it again and it'll make sense, and I'll be like, oh snap, I was crazy. I was like bugging. I don't know why I didn't get it the first time. Maybe you get it the first time. If you do, I'm actually really happy for you. Please explain it to me in the comment section, because I would really love to like understand it better. But I am who I am. So moving forward, the things that I don't like. Okay. So I like parts of the romance and then other aspects of the romance. And if you want to call it a triangle, love triangle, you can call it a love triangle. But I did not like the love triangle. It felt weird. Felt forced, I would say, having the love triangle aspect of it. It's like that could have been not there at all, to be completely honest with you. Like, I get it. I get what you're trying to do, but it didn't hit, or it didn't stick. Not with me, at least. So Violet, I don't want to give away too much. Violet has a friend, and this friend is already in the writer school, and she hasn't seen this person in like a long time. She gets there, she sees this person, and it's like hinted that there might have been like a little fluttery feelings before, and it's like, oh, I can't wait to see this person. And it's like, okay, all right, I get it, I see what you're doing. And then there's like another person that she's supposed to avoid entirely, and that's out to kill her whole family. At least that's what's told, and what the information that we get in the beginning. It's like, oh, this person, avoid them at all costs. They want to kill your family, they want to kill you, they're on site, pretty much, doesn't matter. And pretty much this makes a love triangle. And like, so you got a little bit of like friends to whatever, and then you have enemies to lovers type of thing. So it just seems a bit forced, and it doesn't make sense when Violet was like talking to her friend, and like from the way the dynamic was described before into what it is in the school, it doesn't make sense. And I mean, she tried to explain it by saying like the school brings out the true nature of somebody, and you know, it could change you and whatnot. And okay, I get it. And also, yo, it's been like how many years of Violet being friends with this person, and then like 1 year away from each other, and now it's like, oh, I didn't know you were like this, or oh, why are you doing this and being like this to me? And it's like, sure, protection, because Violet comes in frail and fragile, I guess, on the surface, even though like she's just like, don't treat me like this, because if I'm gonna survive here, I'm gonna survive here, even though everybody, it's just like, uh it's pretty tough. Like, let us help you, train you, and like let's try to keep you alive for a certain amount of time. You know what I'm saying? And so in the beginning, I didn't understand it. Later on, that makes sense. But it's like, for right now, the simple fact that this person was like, yo, like, stay away from these people. I've been here for a year. I understand some things. Stay away from these people. You're hearing this from multiple people. Hey, how about, since I'm in a higher position, I can try to get you certain things to help keep you safe. Or how about we just get you out of here? You don't want to be here. Let's get you out of here. And it's just like, okay. And I mean, I understand the level of thinking, and and what I guess I don't understand is why this person was made out to be, I guess, overprotective in a way. Because there are certain aspects where I understand what the person was doing, and then Violet would respond with, well, no, I don't want to be here, but also I don't want to seem weak, and I don't want to seem like I just give up, so I'm going to be here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, like, you know what I'm saying, put my best foot forward. I'm like, ooh, kudos, good. All right, that makes sense. That's a valid response. And then the person was like, no, you got to leave. You got to do it. And I'm like, I get it. And it's just like, you're being overprotective. Leave me alone. I'm gonna do this. And then the person's like, okay. And then like Violet starts to resent the person because they're just like, yo, like, I just want to keep you safe, and it's the best way I know how to keep you safe. And I get it. I understand. But it's like, maybe, okay, well, maybe we're supposed to hate this character. I don't know. Maybe we're not supposed to like this guy. I don't know. But I was like, I mean, at a certain point, just let it go. Like, you know what I'm saying? If she wants to do this, she can do it. Hey. If she don't, she don't. It just seems forced. That's all I'm gonna say. It seems forced that Violet, felt this way about this person, and then it seems forced that this person felt so adamant about getting Violet out. It's like, do you not have other things to worry about? And then it's also like, do you not understand wanting to keep you safe? Like, I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. This book made me feel weird. So that's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, and then we get to the haters, the lovers, the enemies, the friends, the whatever trope you want to put there. Enemies to lovers. So, yeah, so Violet meets the person that she's told to stay away from at all costs and to never interact with. And pretty much immediately just starts interacting with this person and talking, and just not necessarily friendly, but doing the opposite of what she was advised to do. And it's like, all right, rebellion, woo. But also, it's like, yo, you could die at any point. You were told that this person really wants to like murk you on sight, like, and so it just didn't make sense. I mean, later on, it's like explained away, which that made zero sense. I'm just like, what? But if I ever do a spoiler review for this, I'll go into it. But just know that part of the romance didn't make sense at all. Like when they were explaining how they felt about each other, it didn't make sense. Anyways, I digress. So Violet meets this person and she ends up talking, and just pushing the boundaries of like, oh, I'm supposed to stay away from this person, but I can feel them looking at me and I can feel some type of connection and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's like, why? It's like, how? This makes no sense. Where is this coming from? You guys haven't, it's like, she felt, it's like, she showed up at the school. She saw this guy. Didn't know necessarily who it was, but she was like, oh my God, he's so hot. He's so hot. He's so good. He's so this. I just want to eat him up. And then she hears his name. She's like, oh my God, you're the guy that I was told to stay away from. And she didn't say it out loud, but then it's like, you're so delicious. And it's just like, Okay, okay. I don't know. The way that it was built in the beginning kind of goes against the character that, or the character trait that Violet has throughout the book of just, I don't know, being smart. It just didn't seem like a smart thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe give it some time, maybe see some examples first, and then be like, okay, all right, let me go see what's going on. Let me talk. Let me talk to the guy. But yeah, it seemed a bit fast, like fast paced, the relationship that was built between the enemies to lovers. So especially with like the friends to enemies, which is, that's weird. Like between Violet and the first guy. So I don't know. It seemed forced. Again, I don't read romance, so maybe I'm like all over the place and it don't make sense what I'm saying as far as the romance goes. I don't know. I don't read romance. Maybe I'll try it out and I'll understand it, and then maybe I'll see this again and come back to it, and then it'll make sense to me. I don't know. That's for future me to worry about. Right now, I guess the romance just wasn't my favorite part. We'll just leave it at that. The romance wasn't my favorite part. The fighting was, and the battles were, and the world building was. This book was okay. Um, will I read the second one? Probably not. No. So, no. I mean, I really wanted to stop this after like being like 5 chapters in, but I kept going throughout the whole book. And so I don't know if I'll read the second one. I haven't really heard too many good things about it. I've only heard 2 good reviews, and the rest were like, nah, the first book was better. And I was like, okay. And you know, I got mixed reviews about this one too. I heard that it was meh, and I heard that it was the greatest thing in the world. And I also heard it's the worst thing in the world. I think I'm leaning towards it was okay. It wasn't the worst. Definitely wasn't the greatest. But it's a book. It's a book. It had entertaining bits. You know what I'm saying? If you have nothing else better to read, or you know you like romance, but you also like fantasy, this would be good. This would be good. I think it's high fantasy. So if you like high fantasy and romance, I mean, this could work for you. I just don't know if I like romance. So yeah, that was all over the place. Wow, I gotta get better at this. Anyways, I read Fourth Wing. I guess let me know what you think about the book and what you thought. If you really liked it, if it was like something that, like, let me know. Let me know if I'm tripping, because I could be tripping. Because I've been known to trip, so I could be tripping right now. I mean, if you hated it, let me know. Let me know why. If you loved it, let me know why. I would surely love, you know, I'm open to hearing different opinions, and who knows, you might change my mind. You might give me a new piece of information that I didn't think about, and I might be like, well, that makes sense, and that puts this into a different perspective. And now I have a new way of looking at the book to where I can appreciate it more. Or you might tell me something and I'm just like, ooh. And I'm you know, I'm gonna burn it. Okay, I'm not gonna burn it. I'll give it away. Actually, it's not even my book. I'll be real with you. This isn't even my book. So, you know, I just won't look at it again. I won't go buy it. I won't anything. So, you know what I'm saying? I'll just be on the I hate it club. So, just let me know what you're feeling. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how this made you feel. If you're gonna pick it up, if you're not gonna pick it up, I still say you read it. I'm just fair warning you, it's not the greatest book in the world. And it's also not the worst book in the world. So I'm happy I read it. I'm glad I read it. I had fun reading it. It took me on like some ups and downs, some what, and then some so I don't regret reading it. So I definitely be careful with that. I'm not gonna necessarily recommend it. I'm just gonna say if you see it and you're in like a little slump or something, just pick it up. Pick it up, read it, or just read it in the bookstore a little bit, get a feel for it. Yeah, Fourth Wing. So that is the first book of 2024 that I finished. And pick it up if you see it and it's piquing your interest. If not, maybe it's just not for you. So I would definitely say get it from a library first before you decide to buy it, or borrow it from a friend. But I won't say don't read it. If you want to see a spoiler review where I go in depth and like actually like talk about like the things that I really don't like and the things that really like trip me up, or like where I really talk about the things that like I do like but would give like key bits of the story away, because the things that I like would give key bits of the story away, and the things that I don't like also would give key bits of the story away, and I don't want to do that for people who don't want to get spoiled. So just let me know and I will do it. But this book, man, oh crap, this book. Anyways, let me know if you want to see that. Like the video if you want to see more. Comment, subscribe. Yeah, do the thing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for finding me. Thanks. I appreciate it. This is cool. I think I'm gonna go read another book. All right. Later, guys. Have a great one.